Welcome to Postcards, a brief look at people, places, the arts and curiosities from around the world. On today's program, German symbolist art, 50 years of creative history. A Cezanne still life forms the centrepiece of an exceptional Christie's auction. We feature the highly prized Norland Nannies. A brief look at one of the challenging pursuits a British team has come up with. And finally, raising a princely sum for a special art school for children. First up, aside from its stunning scenery, Wales is probably most famous for rugby, coal mining and music. And while the Welsh coal industry has all but gone, and the national rugby team has seen better days, the country still produces more than its fair share of musical talent. If there is one instrument, apart from the human voice that is, that most epitomises Wales, it is the harp. 20-year-old Catherine Finch has been appointed the first official harpist to the Prince of Wales in over 100 years. It's a revival of a tradition that dates back to the 15th century. Welsh-born Catherine has been playing since she was a child and currently studies at the Royal Academy of Music in London. The Prince of Wales, heir to the British throne and himself a keen musician, decided to revive the appointment of a royal harpist in recognition of the instrument's special place in the musical culture of Wales. Catherine's 2-year appointment as royal harpist means working a number of performances for the prince into her 4-year music course. It's unlikely to be a problem for this already accomplished public performer. Even at the grand age of 99, Britain's much-loved royal, the Queen Mother, still insists on carrying out her share of public engagements. And this week has been no exception, as the guest of honour at Somerset House in London, officially opening what is now deemed to be one of Britain's greatest historical buildings. Queen Elizabeth, who will celebrate her 100th birthday in August, was there to mark both the building's multi-million-pound restoration and the reopening of the surrounding courtyard and riverside buildings. Somerset House has undergone a massive overhaul and it's set to become one of the capital's leading tourist attractions. The Queen Mother also accepted, on behalf of the nation, a gift from Sir Arthur Gilbert. The collection, which bears his name, features some of the world's most exotic examples of gold and silver work. To a regal fanfare, Queen Elizabeth officially opened Somerset House. Taking time then to look around the Gilbert collection, one of the 2 distinct museums within Somerset House, the Queen Mother viewed a host of decorative art, including gold and silverware and intricate mosaics. Sir Arthur Gilbert playfully stated that if the public did not enjoy the exhibits, they could give them back. With almost 1,000 rooms, Somerset House was used to accommodate the servants of government. But under the masterful eye of 3 teams of architects, and with a $75 million US investment, it's slowly been transformed. And with its antique collections, paintings and sculptures, Somerset House is destined to become a major centre for culture and the arts. A passage linking Somerset House with the River Thames has now been reopened, and a new pedestrian bridge is being built. The courtyard, focal point for the Queen Mother's arrival and departure, has also been restored to its original 18th century splendour, and will on occasions double as London's latest open-air venue, holding some 3,000 people. Some of this art has never been seen before in Britain. The works are by German symbolist artists. Kingdom of the Soul was showing at the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, its only UK venue, and focused on the 50-year period between 1870 and 1920, an exceptionally creative period in German cultural history. A Freudian exploration of the darker side of the human psyche was prevalent from the start. This allegory of spring by Franz von Stuck is strangely disturbing. Innocence by the same artist has an equally haunting quality. A famous painting, on loan to Birmingham only, is Swiss-born Arnold Bockland's Self-Portrait with Death. It caused something of a stir when first exhibited. Some of the landscapes are on a truly Wagnerian scale, while others prefigure Impressionism and reveal a longing to escape the modern world of materialism. Heroics and mythological subjects abound, some trembling on the edge of kitsch, like Klinger's Triton and Nereid, or Prayer to the Light by Hugo Hoppener. And the sculptures seem to prefigure Art Deco. Some have a dramatic intensity of their own. The exhibition, containing more than 180 paintings, drawings and sculptures, was a rare treat for those able to see it. A still life by Cezanne, valued at around $19.5 million US, forms the centrepiece of a landmark event on the International Art Auction calendar. Christie's summer sale is attracting the world's top private and institutional collectors. And a stroll past this year's offerings is like being between the pages of an art historian's textbook. Vintage works by Monet, Pissarro and Degas, Sisley, Chagall and Delaunay envelop the viewer. Paul Cezanne often left his canvases unfinished, returning time and again to rework the composition. The still life with fruit and pot of ginger is particularly important as it's so complete. The hefty price tag reflects the work's quality and unusual provenance. Bought by the family of the present owner directly from Cezanne, it's never been seen on the open market before. Also making a debut on the open market is this disturbing portrait of a man screaming, classic Francis Bacon. The mysterious work has been much sought after by collectors since the 1950s. It was known about only through black and white book illustrations and was presumed lost. It was rediscovered by a Christie's expert and appears on the market now for the first time since it was executed. An unmissable element to the sale is a stunning array of eye-catching landscapes by Claude Monet, Camille Pissarro and Alfred Sisley, one of the strongest groups of Impressionist paintings seen on the London market for many years. The Impressionist artists painted en plein air, expertly capturing the effects of light at different times of the day. The canvases are as fresh and alive today as when they were painted, and the Impressionist period remains the most uniformly adored of any in art history. The summer event also includes a contemporary art sale. 20th century art is represented through Bacon, Pablo Picasso, Paul Delvaux and Fernand Léger. The three sales are expected to realise in excess of $118 million US. British families, so it's said, have always known that nanny knows best. But where do British-trained nannies go to learn the mixture of love, good sense and up-to-the-minute childcare that makes them the best in the world? This is Norland College in the heart of the Berkshire countryside. The 107-year-old establishment produces Britain's finest nannies. Norland Nannies are highly prized, able to choose which families they work for around the world, from royalty to rock stars, and command the profession's highest wages. The college was founded in 1892 by education and nursery pioneer Emily Ward. It began as a kindergarten and preparatory school in Norland Place in London's Notting Hill. A visitor looking briefly around the college museum may think little has changed. For most people, Norland is still synonymous with nurses immaculately turned out in brown uniforms. A look around the present-day college, though, firmly places it in the 21st century. Most students take the 2-year Norland Diploma course in nursery nursing. A new 2-year-long Diploma of Higher Education, which offers a more academic approach to childcare, was introduced in September 1999. For international students, there is a 1-year diploma course. Students alternate between the classroom and placements. A week in lectures is followed by a week of practical work. Time is built into the course to enable international students to find out about living in an English home, to help them with their English language, and also to teach English to young children through the medium of play, songs and other activities. Set in 150 acres of spectacular parkland, Denford Park is both a college and a childcare centre. There is daycare for 0 to 3-year-olds, nursery school for the 3 to 5s, a pre-preparatory school for 4 to 8-year-olds, as well as after-school and holiday clubs for children under 11. In all the areas, students work alongside fully trained staff. In this way, the classroom is backed up by hands-on experience. Students can either wear the traditional style of dress or the modern casual uniform of fleece and trousers, also brown. Hair should be off the collar, makeup minimal, and earrings restricted to studs. As well as putting into practice what the students have learned, the practical experience helps highlight areas of specific interest. The college currently has students from Russia, the Bahamas, Canada, Japan and the United States. Some students make their first contact with Norland through the internet. Students also get the opportunity to help at the pre-prep school. Some of the students will eventually go on to train as teachers. Graduates of the college are known as Norlanders. The college holds a Norland professional register and can find jobs and give support to graduates right throughout their careers. But starting out can be tough for those prospective students who cannot afford the fees. To this end, the first principal of Norland, Isabel Sharman, created what is now known as the Shaman Bursary Scheme. Shaman students spend a year working as part of the household staff before beginning the 2-year Norland diploma training. Under the bursary scheme, they can earn up to 50% off the training fees. These shaman students are taking some time off work to enjoy an adventure weekend organised for them by the college. Norlander Rebecca MacDonald began her career as a shaman student. Now as nanny to Samantha, Oliver and Jack, she stoically enjoys regular summertime picnics in the park. Her student days studying nutrition are put to the test. After a year, she has got the thumbs up from her young charges, which might bear out an old adage that warns, never work with children or animals. Undeterred, a Norlander presses on despite the rain and high water. As Mary Poppins would say, spit spot. Hot air ballooning. It looks easy here in a sunny London, but these 3 British men are preparing for probably the world's greatest ballooning challenge. One of them is going to attempt to be the first man in history to reach and cross the North Pole alone in a hot air balloon. This is the kind of terrain David Hempelman Adams will be crossing, a lot higher up. He'll be flying at 20,000 feet, and at that altitude, the temperature will be minus 60 degrees. The trip is expected to take 7 days, but with the uncertain winds, he doesn't know exactly where he could end up. In the North Pole, there's no jet stream. He could end up in Canada, Russia, or even Alaska. Brian Jones, one of the team, was on the successful Breitling orbiter balloon that went round the world last year, but he thinks this trip could be even more difficult. Takeoff was scheduled to get the best weather slot, but even after takeoff, with all the uncertainties, it's going to be a difficult and tense week in the air. The historic banqueting hall in Whitehall, the main artery of Britain's central government. But this week, it is art, not politics, under scrutiny here. Prince Charles, heir to the British throne, and Prince Khalid Al Faisal, son of the late King Faisal and a regional governor in Saudi Arabia, are friends and fellow artists. In the banqueting hall, where a tent-like decor added a subtle Arab touch to the 18th century Rubens interior, the 2 princes opened a joint exhibition of their paintings. The idea was born when Prince Charles visited Saudi Arabia last year. In his opening speech, Prince Khalid said this was one of the largest ever cultural collaborations between Britain and Saudi Arabia, and expressed the hope it would encourage other artists in both countries. Prince Khalid's oil paintings are inspired by the people and spectacular landscapes of Asir, a mountainous region of Saudi Arabia that borders Yemen, where he has been governor since 1968. Prince Khalid is also Director General of the King Faisal Foundation, a philanthropic organisation which funds projects and awards prizes for achievements in the arts, sciences and Islamic civilization. On the floor below the London exhibition is a reconstruction of an Azir village, with examples of the traditional arts and crafts of a culturally diverse region, which Prince Khalid holds in high regard. The people of Azir are famed for their strength of character and their forbearance in the face of difficulties in their lives. The name Azir, which means difficult in Arabic, originates from the difficult geography of the area. While Prince Khalid paints in oils, Prince Charles opted for watercolours for his views of the high mountains and plunging ravines of Azir. All funds raised by the London exhibition, including an auction of 2 lithographs, will go to fund a special arts summer school for children in London. The school will run here at the new offices of the Prince's Foundation in East London, a charity set up by Prince Charles where students study architecture, design and urban regeneration. The 4-week summer school aims to give children and young adults, especially those from this deprived area of inner London, a taste of the arts. With the exhibition due to go on show in Saudi Arabia in July 2001, the friendship and artistic collaboration of the royal princes from Britain and Saudi Arabia is opening up more opportunities for youngsters like these to find common ground between the European and Arab artistic heritage. Elsewhere, another unusual kind of exhibit, a fully functional Bedouin tent, pitched with blocks rather than pegs, erected in the middle of the British Museum. Inside, though, visitors get a real feel for the heritage and culture of the Arab world. Over the past few months, children from all over Britain have been participating in a unique project celebrating Arab culture. After seeing the museum's travelling exhibition of traditional Arab clothing, writing, art and religious iconography, the children were asked to create their own works of art, incorporating their response. These are now being hung side by side with the museum's own exhibits. The children from differing backgrounds have responded in various ways. This student was inspired by Arabic calligraphy and contributed to this banner with her thoughts on Islam and life in England. The creator of this piece hails from Exeter. He glued several flower pots together and decorated them in a traditional style to make a minaret, the traditional mosque tower from which worshippers are called to prayer. A recurring theme in the children's work was the use of bright colours in the traditional way. Adam Gray was inspired by the Islamic mosaics and made his own versions of wall tiles. Around the edges is a simplified version of his name in Arabic. Curators of the exhibition say the children's responses have been a mixture of traditional and contemporary works, and it's helped foster better understanding about what it means to be Arabic in Britain. Bedouin tent expert Mohammed Al-Ghai says his contribution recalls how the older generations from the Arab Peninsula cope with the practicalities of life. In those days there was no light or refrigeration. Everything was arranged in a particular order for a particular reason. Seeing their work displayed amidst Arab cultural icons in the British Museum has instilled in the youngsters a sense of pride in their identity and an engagement with the Arab culture. And that's all for today. Join us again next time for a postcard look at interesting people, places, the arts and curiosities.